Hey guys, it's the Chad, your C10 truck nerd. Today, I'm here with my 1971 GMC 1500 that we call Forrest. Last time, the oldest human and I, we went through and gave him a really deep cleaning, which was absolutely disgusting. I bet we pulled 15 pounds of rat turds, rat poison, and just pure trash out of this thing. We also went through and power washed 50 years of grease, grime, and gunk off of him, just trying to see what we had to work with. Well, today, it's demo day, or I don't know. It's the day where I'm going to go through and start removing a bunch of parts that don't work, I don't want, or I don't even know what they do. That way we can start a shopping list to know what parts we need to get old Forrest back on the road. So my goal with Forrest is to make him my patina driver without breaking the bank in the process. Hopefully we can use as many used, traded, or budget parts to get him back onto the road. Now, just because we don't have a lot of money to spend on him doesn't mean we can't dress him up along the way. Now, I'm a guy that's learned a bunch of cheap tips and tricks over the years how to take old worn out junky parts and make them look like new for just a few bucks. Now, I know there's a saying out there that you can't polish a turd, and you know what? I disagree. If you've watched any of my episodes, that's pretty much what I do each and every time. Now, what we need to do first is start removing the parts that either don't work, we don't want, that need some maintenance. But truly, that'd be like disassembling this whole truck because it's junk, just like everything I buy, so great. So the first thing that's gonna go is this beautiful white patinaed over-the-rail toolbox. Now, I could probably sell this thing for $19.95 on the old face base, but I'm not going to because it's actually junk. That passenger side lid had to be held down with a bungee cord on the way home. It snapped, so we just ran a sheet metal screw into it to keep it closed. Now, before I just haul it straight to the scrapper, I'm going to use it as kind of a metal storage bin for all the smalls that's going to come off this thing, because I don't want all these little pieces, hitting somebody's windshield or ending up in a tire going down the highway. I'm considerate. Ooh. So one thing you want to be careful with is don't chop your fingers off taking this toolbox out. And if it's an over the rail and you don't care, just slide this thing back. Maybe. Seems to work fine. Timber! Oh yeah, there's stuff in it. Deleted. So the next thing that's got to go are these hideous side mirrors. When I bought old Forrest, I assumed that he was a camper. He towed a camper or trailers a bunch because he had, 37 gas tanks, cruise control, 2 different ball hitches, and these gigantic, nasty mirrors. Now, we're not going to be towing anything with old Forrest, so these things can go. Now, I kind of laughed when we unveiled this truck. My buddy Eric from Whiskey Creek Customs up in Canada, he reached out to me and said, yeah, please get rid of those and actually just destroy them. That way there's no chance they can ever end up on another truck again. So I'll do the right thing and take them off all gentle-like, and maybe we'll package them up and send them up north. Now, I didn't have any money for new mirrors, so I like doing a lot of trading. So my buddy Kurt down in Oklahoma, he needed some e-brake parts for his 71, so I robbed him off old Bluey, sent him down there, and he's gonna send me a brand new set of sport mirrors that are, I think, off a square body, but we'll make them work. So let's kiss these things goodbye. Oh, yeah. Hey, did you guys hear that Dyson's coming out with a new electric vehicle? I hear it sucks. Not bad. I know, there's a better tool than this, but it's in front of me. So, there she goes. Now, I'll pull the brackets off. I got to get the door panels off from the inside before those go, but it's 100% better already. So the next thing on the chopping block is the go the same speed all the time unit, cruise control. Now, this truck wasn't manufactured with cruise. Somebody's put it in aftermarket over the years, but I really don't care to have it. That diaphragm's blown completely out, and I'd have to find somebody to try to rebuild it for me. I'm not going on any long road trips, so I'm just gonna maintain my speed the old-fashioned way with the foot. So let's get this pulled out of here. So here's kind of the brain box for the cruise control in one of these old trucks, and it's a pretty neat idea to have that, especially if you were going to go on these long trips back in the day. But this is the diaphragm that's blown out, and I really don't care to do it. So we just need to unhook the, well, that was kind of already unhooked already for me. And I'm gonna try to be gentle when I take this apart because somebody's probably gonna want to experiment with it or try it for their old truck, and why not keep used parts out there? So next up is air conditioning. Now Forrest wasn't originally an AC cab truck, but somebody's gone through at some point in its life and stuck one of these GM original aftermarket units in. I think this one was the Bash Your Knees 5000 model because it just makes it really tight in here. Now I'd love to keep AC in Kansas, but you know, that's going to require belts, hoses, Freon recharges, all these things that just are going to cost me more money. So I'm going to pull it out because I've got the old window crankulators that allow the Kansas wind just to blow right in my teeth, and we'll call that good enough. Come on. Yahtzee. Ooh, it's supposed to make that braking sound, I think. That sucked. Wait, I guess it's an air conditioner. So it blows. Yeah. Oh, success. Ish. So I got most of the AC on the inside done. Get this compressor unhooked. This thing is a beast. Oh, that's some brittle tape. There we go. See if that'll fit back through there. Maybe. How about there? So yeah, these AC, these York compressors are just a monster. Look at the size of this thing. Look at that. Oh my God. Deleted. So all I got to do now is pull the dryer off, get that unhooked, then we can pull the condenser and run that last hose out, and it's done. I mean, there's going to be so much more room for activities. It's awesome. I ain't gonna lie, getting quite a bit of leg room in this thing, and look at all this junk. But already under the hood, it's so much better already. Maybe do a little spray painting under here and it'll look brand new. Nope. So we're starting to run low on light, and I need to really kick it in high gear, but my buddy Mike, you know, the 67 to 72 truck guy in the Midwest, hollered at me and said, "Hey, I'm back in town for a little bit today. Why don't you come over and check out some parts I've got?" And I'm like, "I'm all good. I don't need any parts." And guess what? Yeah. Well, it's kind of hard for me to say no to a brand new set of short bed panels. Got the header and a tailgate too, and oh yeah, my buddy Jeremy was there and hooked me up with a set of rallies, so oh boy, just kind of out of control. So another thing I need to do is replace the rear view mirror because this thing is just all fogged out. Cool thing is, I've got a pretty decent one over there in bluey, so I'm just gonna switch the heads out and call it good. We got about maybe 10 more minutes of sunlight left, and I didn't get quite as far as I wanted to, but that's kind of my own fault. But I did get to see my good buddy Mike, so it was totally worth it. This old heap, she'll still be here tomorrow. Downfall is, it's 51 today, 19 tomorrow, so you guys want to move to Kansas? I'd probably think twice about that. So we'll see how far we can get tomorrow, or maybe we'll take a day off until it's like 25. See you whenever. Well, it's not the next day, it's the day after. Yesterday it only got up to 16 degrees, the wind was blowing 400 miles an hour, and I just couldn't do it. My mind said yes, but the body said no, and that was probably a good decision. So it's 2 days later, it's 24 degrees out, and it's late in the afternoon, but I want to get something done, so we're going to go through and see if we can't take 2 of these 37 gas tanks that came out of this GMC. Now, I don't have the keys to the locks for these doors, So instead of trying to drill them out, I think I'm just going to try to drop the auxiliary tank straight out the bottom, if that's even possible. Now, how most of these were held up was a long carriage bolt through the top of the bed, all the way through the tank, and it was held up with a nut or some type of nut and washer. I crawled under here a few days ago, and it looks like it's a square head. I think I can get a 3/8 extension in there and try to loosen it down that way. I douched it with a bunch of WD-40. I'm sure it's probably not gonna break loose. We'll either snap it or round them off because they've been in there 50 years. So if that happens, we'll just go to plan B or C. Yep, that is stripped. Perfect. Maybe this side will be better. And that one's stripped too. And they're all stripped. Well, that worked about as good as I thought. I got one of the 4 bolts loose, so it's time to move on to plan B, which is gonna be a cutoff wheel. I'm gonna try to lop the heads off through the top of the bed. One thing to be aware of, if you're gonna be shooting sparks or fire right towards fuel or fuel vapors, maybe keep you a fire extinguisher nearby, or maybe just call your insurance agent and bump up your coverage. Tell them this thing's worth, 20 grand or so. I put a jack underneath the tank to support it. That way when it falls, or hopefully it falls, it doesn't like crush me. So let's get after it. Well, the pneumatic tools are not a big fan of the cold. I think I got a little moisture in the lines, so we're gonna move to the electrical power tools and see if that works any better. So I'm sure if you read the mechanics manual, this is not the way you're supposed to do it, but hey, so far so good. That's heavy. Oh my God, what's coming out of there? That thing is huge. Now what do I do? Well, where's the persuader? Oh, it's bad. Here we go. Oh my gosh. Well, I got that one dropped without amputating the hand, so that's good. 14 more pounds of rat's nest deleted. A bunch of pine cones, so get the other side pulled down and call it a night. Here she goes. Ugh. Ugh. So the next thing to go is the seat, or this seat cover. Forrest originally would have came with some type of green seat in here. Over the years, somebody's put in one of these nasty tan things. I mean, it truly looks like some old lady's skin that sat in a fake bake bed for the last 30 years. I mean, it's just it's crispy. It's not good. So I'm going to pull the seat cover off first, and then I'll probably just end up taking the whole seat out. I'm going to need to pull the gas tank and get all the varnish out of it. To pull one of these seats, you just need a 1/2-inch socket and a ratchet or a wrench. There's going to be a total of 8 1/2-inch bolts, 4 in the front, 4 in the back. To reach the ones in the back, you want to go through and slide the seat forward. This one was very locked up, and I sprayed it with WD-40. But these older 69 to 72s, the backrest doesn't fold. It's only 67 and 68, but I'll be dang. This is awesome. This is the driver's side door panel that I didn't know I had. It's great. Ha. So I got all the bolts out, and it's time to remove the seat. Maybe. Oh, that sounds bad. Well, if you didn't know, a lot of the build sheets would have been in the backrest, kind of tucked here behind the springs of a lot of these 67 to 72s. So I was hoping this one would be here, but yeah, it's not. So let's get this thing ripped off. So there's all different ways to remove these. A lot of times the covers are going to be held in with hog rings or duct tape. This is kind of a mixture of both. So we'll just try to get them off. Oh, it's nasty. Oh yeah. It's like peeling off a Band-Aid and not finding anything good. Well, maybe we should have left it on. I think it looked a little better than this. So I saved the worst for last, which is going to be pulling the rubber floor mat. Kind of scares me because I know what I'm going to find, and it's going to be that those metal mites have been eating the floor for 50 years, and I'm going to have to do metal work, and I'm not good at it, so yippee! So I'm going to pull these completely rusted out seal plates. I'll probably just break those off, rip all the mat out. I'm going to go through with the dedicated Rat Sucker 5000 cleaner to follow it up and see what we got. So I've got the mat and all the padding out, and really, it's not that bad. I mean, it's disgusting. A couple little holes here and there, but I thought I'd be putting all new floors in, but you know, when I go through and change that cab support out, really just patch a little bit of the floor and we're in business. Yes. So another important piece of maintenance we need to get done is to go through and clear out this cowl panel. This one's just packed full of pine needles, leaves, grass clippings, and just mud. If you don't periodically clean these things out, these side air buckets behind the fenders will get plugged and just completely rust out, and then that firewall starts decaying as well. It can be really bad. Now, if you guys don't know how to pull off one of these cowl panel guards or how to remove the wiper arms, I've got several videos out there that'll walk you through it step by step. So we've gone through and deleted a ton of stuff from Old Forrest, and I gotta tell you, I'm pretty happy because I really needed to make a trip to the scrapyard because this place is looking like Sanford and Son. Now that we got everything removed out of this old truck, it's not near as bad as I thought, but it still needs a lot of work. And like I said at the beginning of the video, I want to go through and try to get Old Forrest back on the road as cheap as I possibly can, so we're going to be using a bunch of used, traded, and budget parts along the way. Now, if we start up front, we definitely need an engine, transmission, radiator, all the hoses and belts. Then we'll kind of work our way back into the cab. We need a dash pad, flooring patch panels, we need a new seat cover, fuel sending unit, and then it just keeps going. I mean, really, we need a ton of stuff. So if any of you guys want to donate any 67 to 72 GM truck stuff to me, well, just reach out to me. Well, if you guys haven't, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and make sure you follow along as Forrest progresses back to getting on the road. Well, I appreciate your time, and thanks for watching.